Greetings and salutations. I am late. And unlike a lot of the times that I've been late, Gajo Station. I've not had to do this for a while, but I'm late and I've not eaten and I'm hungry. So we're going to be eating while I try to remember. Yes, I remembered to turn on the light. So I'm going to be eating. I have my microwave meal ready. And possibly steaming. We're on chicken chow mein. Doesn't look particularly tasty. But I'm just going to be eating this before I start gaming. Hey, Lord of Mithril. Can anybody remember where we're up to with Pillars of Eternity? I really can't. Hey, my cat. I'm on Ferrero Rocher. I mean, that's fair. If I probably had enough of them lying around, I don't have any lying around. I probably would just pig out on those and deal with it. Unfortunately, I don't, so it's, you know, semi-sensible food. Okay, you found 3 of the 4 pillars so far. I think you got a pillar. I don't remember any pillars. I am genuinely trying to remember what is going on. I think I left the town of Defiance Bay. This chow mein is really hot, by the way, which is not good for trying to scoff it down while I'm live. I also hope, to a certain degree, that the audio filter is set high enough that you can't hear me shoveling it into my mouth and chewing. Wait, you're not eating a pizza pocket? Why are you? What have you done with Kyra? So, okay, basically, one of the things is... No, I usually get some pizza pockets. I actually had some pizza pockets on Saturday. But Mega, I've actually found out I can't eat as much pizza as I have been eating. I had really bad acid reflux in the middle of the night, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And this has been coming and going for the last few weeks now. And it's literally a case that I gotta wake up in bed. I've got antacid tablets by my bedside table. I open one of them, pop it in my mouth, wait until it dissolves. And then, you know, as long as I don't actually wake up, I can usually flop back down and get back to sleep. If I wake up in the slightest, because I can't find the pills, or I need something to wash it down with, or anything like that, then it's I'm screwed. I'm awake for like a good 2 hours. Dropped a steak bake on the carpet today. Why would you do that? No, you don't put pizza in the pockets. You get a piece of bread and then you fold it up and it's a pocket of pizza. But then, anyway, back to what I was saying about the acid reflux is, I was sort of like starting to try to pay attention to what I'm eating, and it was happening on the Saturday night and the Sunday night, and sometimes it would stretch into the Monday night. And then I remembered that I'm eating like a pizza Saturday, a pizza Sunday, and yeah, I did a trial run this weekend, first weekend where I've been able to sleep through the night, not waking up with acid reflux. This weekend I didn't have pizza, I had Chinese. That is still really freaking hot. So yeah, think I need to cut back on the pizza. It did get it back. It just took some time to clean the gun cup, mixing it up. Karen. Yeah, the thing is, it's one of them where it's like, I know my diet is terrible. Hey, Retro Ted, I'm just eating at the moment. We're on chicken chow mein. The game will start shortly. I'm just talking at the moment. I possibly shouldn't have gone live with the Pillars of Eternity. It's simple. I should have gone live with the just talking, but anyway. Yeah, acid reflux, or in my case, nocturnal acid reflux, was really bad. To a certain degree, it wouldn't have been too bad if it was happening during the day while I was awake, because it's just like, take some antacids and get over it. But a while ago, the doctor tried putting me on some medication for acid reflux. Not entirely sure what the medication was supposed to do, but it just made me feel really, really bloated and not hungry whatsoever. I think the medication was for like 2 or 3 weeks. And at the end of the 2 or 3 weeks, it was like rang by the doctor and was discussing it and so, well, I'm not getting acid reflux, but also I'm not really eating at the moment because I feel bloated and don't feel like eating. And it's like, we probably shouldn't give you a permanent prescription of those. It's like, probably not. So since then, I've tried to clean up my diet a little bit. We're still eating pizza every week. And for the most part, I think it's also combined with either stress or anxiety or something else, which is what's causing it to really spike up and influence me nocturnally. So it's one of them where it's like there might have been another contributing factor. A lot of mystical doctors found that antidepressants were giving me terrible reflux, so prescribed a PPI drug to stop it. Much happier. I'm guessing that was kind of the same drug. I don't know my chemistry very well, especially when it comes to medical. So Phasmo was a bad idea. Why was Phasmo a bad idea? I have the barbecue base on pizzas as anything tomato gives me the same as you. Yeah, I did think that it might have been the tomato base, or something along them lines, but at the same token, it's like, since lockdown began, my cholesterol's been up, and has been going up a lot, to the point where it's a concern for the doctor. So to a certain degree, I've been trying to figure out ways of stress and anxiety. The thing is, no, the stress and anxiety is the long term, because at the end of the day, it's, if I get stressed and anxious about a video game, I can just, the number of times that you don't know that basically something is wigging me out in the house, and it's just like, I'm gonna go stand in the van and stare at the camera for a while, and that's it. That's what I do, and if it gets worse than that, then it's just like, I can quit the game. It's not the kind of stress and anxiety that really affects me deeply. Don't really want to go too deep into what causes my stress and anxiety, but it's pretty much just life problems. Or adulting problems. Don't really want to go too deep into it, because if a place that if I mention anything about my work and my place of work finds out that I was bad-mouthing them, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and it's like, it's not really related to that, and also to a certain degree, some of the stress and anxiety that comes from that, it's like, you've just got to kind of accept it. You're never going to be able to get rid of all stress and anxiety in your life. You're mainly looking at how you deal with the stresses and the anxiety-inducing events that happen. But I think the stress and anxiety and the eating, because the other thing is, get me back on track mentally where I was up to. So with the eating, it's like I put on a lot of weight since been in lockdown, and my cholesterol is up. So trying to make some lifestyle changes. The first is stop eating pizza every week. It's 2 whole pizzas to myself every weekend. probably gone some way towards contributing to my deteriorating physical stature. I've switched from whole milk to almond milk. It's something that when you first switch from any kind of milk to any other kind of milk, it does not taste right for quite a while. You gotta persist at it for a little bit. And I'm drinking coffee with almond milk now, and it's like, it's alright. It's instant coffee, so it wasn't really going to be fantastic coffee anyway, so the fact that I've gone from whole milk to almond milk, probably not a big concern. In the next few days, I'm actually going to be doing cooking. You heard that right, folks. I will be cooking. Started up a subscription to HelloFresh. What really annoys me about a lot of these services, and you can find some, and we'll get into that in a moment, but one of the things about HelloFresh is it's not going to be this week, and it has crossed my mind to do some cooking content, but it's likely to be edited down and go straight up to the YouTube rather than a stream, because I don't know how well it's going to go with me cutting things, and if I cut myself, and I don't think Twitch allows blood, and I don't think YouTube allows blood, especially real blood. So when I cut my finger and just blood spurts everywhere, it's like I need to, wrap that up, take care of it. I can do that off camera. I can edit out that bit. Might go straight up to YouTube with edits. And also less time, because it's one of them where it's like, this takes 40 minutes, and it's 2 minutes of prep, followed by 20 minutes of cooking, which is standing there looking at food getting hot, and then 5 minutes of frantic action, and then more staring at things getting hot. It's not likely to be entertaining. So, if I do record it, and I might, it's likely to be YouTube exclusive. See, I'm not setting myself up for huge success here. The fact that everybody is like, wait, why did the camera go red? And I didn't realize this recipe called for ketchup. I don't actually know to a certain degree what the recipe is called for, because back onto HelloFresh, what it is, for those of you who don't know, just in case, is basically you go on HelloFresh's website, you choose your size of delivery, and then you select some recipes, and then they send you a box each week. And in that box is everything you need to prepare the meals that are provided. Couple of problems. One, I hate cooking. Two, every service that I can find out there is for meals, for people, not person. So the smallest HelloFresh box that you can get is 3 meals for 2 people. 5 minutes of action with edited out 20 minutes warm up sounds like my love life. I mean, fair enough. Thank you for sharing that, Retro Ted. It wasn't necessary. But you do you. And hopefully your wife is happy with the results. But yeah, so HelloFresh, smallest box that you can get is 3 meals for 2 people. You can't get 5 meals for 1 person. That doesn't happen. They don't have any 1-person options. And this is the same on a number of different sites. The only place that I found where it was like individual meals for 1 It was either pre-prepared, so it's essentially just another service for microwave meals, although it was fresher because it wasn't frozen, and when they delivered it, you were expected to refrigerate it and or freeze it yourself. Or, there was one place where it's like, fresh ingredients, we'll send you, 6 meals for one person at twice the price. And HelloFresh, it's not expensive, I don't feel, but it isn't cheap either. Doubling the price would have just been so like, yeah, that's expensive. I think it was looking at about 7 to 8 quid per meal. Now, I'm a cheapskate. This meal right here, £1.50. HelloFresh's meals come to, I think it's about 4 quid per meal. So it's still a hell of a lot expensive than what I'm used to paying. But I think it was sort of like 7 to 8 for this one for individual people. Can you work it into 6 meals for one? That's what I'm thinking of doing. And also, to a certain degree, because I despise cooking, and I don't mind eating the same thing day after day after day. You can tell if you actually look at what microwave meals I eat in a week. I buy, but yeah, that's essentially what I'm thinking of doing, Retro Ted, although not actually freezing it, just basically just cook everything as if I was preparing for 2 people, and plate them up separately, throw one in the microwave with the cover on it, and eat the other one, and then the next day just nuke it, warm it up a bit, and away we go. Or eat it cold, depends on what it is. So to a certain degree, that'll help cut down on how much time I'm spending cooking, because I'll only be cooking once every other day. Yeah, the thing is, I don't really want to be eating the same thing every day as much as I can do. I don't feel that... Because this is the other thing, is so like, my doctor has said, something needs to change to get my cholesterol down. And the best thing that I can think of is start to give more variety and healthier meals for myself. But at the same token, I don't want to be too picky with the meals. So if I start eating a varied diet, one of the things is like curry. It's like, yeah, it can be reasonably healthy for you, but you can also put cream, yogurt in there, very fatty, and making that for the entire week. It's all like that would eating that every day is likely just to cause my cholesterol to spike, which is kind of what I'm trying to avoid. And I could make batches of stuff. It's just I'm so out of practice with cooking and figuring out what I want to eat. There is nothing that I can think of that I want to eat. I'm eating this because it's like I'm hungry and I've barely eaten anything today, so I've got to eat something, and this is reasonable. Yeah, having good variety, mixing it up really helps make new meals stick. Yeah, and to a certain degree, because I'm having to go on HelloFresh, and you can either leave it to them, and they send you out meals of your selected type, so you can choose just normal meals, family meals, which are good for making batches thereof. Quick to cook meals, low calorie, vegetarian, vegan, and pescatarian. And you can just basically say, I want these kinds of meals, and leave it at that. And you don't get it. You don't have to make a choice in it. You can just leave it, and they will send you free meals for each package. Very chewy piece of chicken there. I've gone through and I've made a selection for this week. Or for the first package. Not arriving this week. It arrives sometime next week. But so I haven't chosen which ones that I'm going for, but I don't have to. But one of the benefits is it's a variety of different things. The first box is going to contain teriyaki chicken taco recipe thing. Something to do with a creamy bacon pasta dish, and something else I can't remember off the top of my head. You could have chat choose your meals for the week. I'm kind of a little bit about that. One, I have absolutely no tolerance for spicy things. So I have to be careful about those kind of things. And also, you know, it's like it's trying to get me into the behavior of eating these things, despite the fact that I don't want to be bothered to cook these things. If chat decide to choose something and it's like, oh yeah, it'd be great if you made this, and it's like, that just looks like a whole lot of fucking effort that I really cannot be arsed with, it's going to put me off the whole experience. I might discuss it more and, you know, later down the line, especially if I do the whole cooking thing. Who knows? The thing is, it depends on how you count it, actually, J-Station, because you say that I could roll for it and it'd end up getting the lower number ones. One of the things is, a lot of the highly recommended meals are actually at the top of the list. So, you know, lower numbers. But again, it's all like, you know, 17 could be a really spicy dish, and it's like, there's no point in me buying that. One, I don't want it, and two, even if I did get it and cook it, I would regret eating it, and thus put me off the entire thing all over again. So, yeah. Don't want to go down that route. But this is the real annoying thing, is like, it is very difficult to find a fresh food packing service that caters for one person. It's almost like you're expected to live off takeaway or junk food. Or like you say, it's like make things in batches and do it like that. It's a possibility, but I'm after trying out different things, and HelloFresh is going to facilitate that. And hopefully, you know, just end up cooking 3 times a week and microwave meals for the rest of the times of the week. Or microwave what meals I've prepared for the rest of the week. And then see how my cholesterol turns out, and if it turns out well, then all the better. If it doesn't turn out well, then I can start looking at other options. But certainly other viable options, because I'm now actually cooking again rather than just eating. It sounds like you'll have to tell us any exciting meals. I'm always looking to expand options. I mean, I can tell you the 3 things that I'm getting in the first box. I just need to load up the website again. So we got, oh, it's not teriyaki chicken, it's teriyaki salmon fillet tacos with sweet potato chips, pickled onions, and toasted sesame mayo. Toasted sesame mayo. Okay. And speedy creamy chorizo and sweet corn pasta with spinach and cheese. And chicken and plum stir fry with a box chow and noodles. Two of those are on their rapid cooking, and one is gonna take like 35 minutes. Let's not also factor in the... I have no idea how I'm going to be cooking. Things will be slow with me. It's like, oh, finely dice this. It will take me twice as long as is expected to be finely diced. But at the same token, it's like, that's going to happen off air anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Everybody wants it flibbity flob. I will let you know how it goes. There may be videos. We'll have to see. Intrigued to hear how the teriyaki salmon tacos go. I'm curious about it as well. One of the things I don't know about this service is how much everything is divided up, how much everything is accumulated together. Because you can go out to Asda and you can buy a taco kit. And as part of that taco kit is basically there is a package of marinade, and you just get your chicken and you throw it in the marinade, and that's it. That's all of the flavoring that is expected. Or if it's, more base components and you have to mix all of those together. Maybe Retro can chime in, because one of the things he said is HelloFresh, they did HelloFresh for a while and kept all of the recipe cards. That's the other thing. They come with recipe cards. There is the potential of basically being this is me cooking it badly, and if you follow along with the recipe, then, well, hey. I'm not sure how much I'd be allowed to be Nobody wants it. This is a word-for-word replica of the recipe. I'm posting that up on YouTube. I don't know how protective HelloFresh are of their recipes, or is it more of the service that they're providing that they're protective of? It comes in measured packets. Fair enough. Sometimes it's a cut up depending on what it is. I'll find out. To a certain degree, if I get into the habit of these things, I don't like. One of the things is working out cheaper. It will be to go to Asda and buy the ingredients fresh myself and cart them home. It's just, it's one of them where it's like, I've thought about cooking in the recent past, and it's like I go to Asda and it's like, what do I want? I don't know. I don't really feel like any of this. I just want fucking hot dogs and cookies and all the bad things. Anyway, right, we are going to get on with some gaming. We have been chatting for like half an hour now. I've just realized I left my phone over there, so I just need to go pick that up so that I can actually see the chat once I actually get into the game. BRB. Now I need to remember how to open Twitch. One of the things is, for Twitch on my mobile, I've had to turn off the notifications because it's just constant ba-ding, 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 and it's like, no, this isn't useful. Stream Manager, there we go. It's usually cheaper to get the ingredients yourself, but it helps having them provide the options and helps you get to grip with what you want and what to buy. Yeah, that's the thing. And so, like, getting the... because this is the thing. It's like, it's also the quantities, where I have a terrible habit of not knowing quantity at all. And so, like, if I go out and buy a bag of potatoes, I'll get the biggest bag of potatoes that I can find because, they're cheaper that way. And then realize that, it's me on my own. I need, like, one potato a day. There's about 30 potatoes there. This is good for a month. Potatoes, unless you store them absolutely perfectly, do not last a month. So, you know, it just ended up some of it getting thrown away. And also then it's all like the other things to go with it. It's all like chicken. Alright, got some chicken, got some veg. You know, if you want to do something simple, get some mixed herbs, get a chicken breast, slap the two together, brush off the excess, throw it in a grill, and there we go. You've got chicken, which is reasonably tasty. We buy large meat in large quantities and then split it up to freeze. Yeah, that's fair enough. I think to a certain degree, if I wanted to start getting into that, I would actually need to buy a new refrigerator. My refrigerator at the moment is not a big refrigerator, because, you know, most of the time it's me eating microwave meals. How big of a how big of a freezer do you need? I can stack 9 microwave meals in there. I don't need any more space than that, really. We learned that to write what meat is in the bag later. We learned to write what meat is in each bag later than you might expect. I mean, that's fair, although to a certain degree, it's one of them where it's like, it depends on kind of what meats you're buying, and how they're prepared. Because for the most part, whenever I get beef, it tends to be minced. In which case, it doesn't matter whether it's chicken or beef. I know what they look like because one looks like fillet steaks and the other looks like mince. There was a season of mystery meat. And yeah, that's a viable option, is actually just embrace the random chaos of it all. But yeah, I think fish is also another one of them potentials for me, where it's like, I don't mind fish, I don't like a lot of fish, in terms of, you know, eating it, you know, several times a week, for a lot of fish. I mean, I could eat salmon every day, but salmon is probably not the best, fish to be eating every day. Right, okay, let's kill off that noise. Let's load up the Pillars of Eternity. And come on. It's an interesting oddity. It loaded up behind all of the screens, but I can't actually go down to the taskbar to click on the little icon. Right, let's go to the game scene, let's go over to this, and let's click on continue. Weapons and shields grant bonuses that stack with bonuses of other item types. Ooh. Bum, 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 bum. Flashbacks slowly all coming back to me. That's where I was. I started off on the White March stuff. Killed Drazir in Stalwart Village. We're in Stalwart Village. I remember I arrived over here. The place is getting attacked and we had to kill some ogres and get over here. There's still probably a lot of this village to save or deal with. I'm slightly concerned that people look to be a little bit battered. Oh. Let's open the barrels while nobody's around. Ooh, sickleback jerky. Speckleback jerky. 8 max endurance, 1 intellect, 1 perception for 200 seconds. Yoink. Some dead people on the ground. What's interesting is I'm not, you know, some of these things I don't recognize. I've not really gotten into the crafting, cooking side of this. Because there is a crafting side of this. Can't remember where you find it. Oh, there it is, crafting. And it's like potions and scrolls and food. And it's like... I don't know. It's one of them where it's like I never feel like this is a big enough bonus for a long enough time. You know, 5 minutes, especially when you could spend 5 minutes just talking to somebody. I feel that some of these things could have done with being a bigger bonus for a shorter time. Hey Saber, how's it going? That is weird. Is there... How did you know Saber was here? I've not seen a message from Saber. Ah, Automod blocked you. Saber said a bad word. Well, you shouldn't say bad words and Automod won't stop you. I am exempt from that ruling because I am the host. Oh, you just got murdered. Well, this might be the quickest reload I've had to deal with. Yeah, let's... Is any of these... No, there's... I am supposed to be looking for essentially some leader kind of guy. Or you could try to kill Automod, that's how it works. I don't really think that's how it works. Automod is not something that you can kill off. It's probably also in my best interest if you do manage to kill Automod off is to ban you from this channel. Right, we need another one. Everybody just got their asses handed right to them. And he got shot again. That's really annoying. So, what's his face? Eider has a ring of second chance, which means when he goes unconscious, he gets a second chance, which gives him 30 endurance and revives him. Every single time that triggers, basically as soon as he stands back up, somebody else just puts him back down, and it's like, oh no, he actually got up. He's up, and he's about. And now, them cannoneers are a problem.
You're not getting through.
Got a lot of things going on right now. Could really do with them cannoneers getting out of the way. I think we got the will-o-wisp taking care of business down here. I think somebody else just got murdered. Can you trip that guy? Oh, the will-o-wisps are dead. Okay, that's not good. We're out of them kind of spells. I have a feeling that I've come to this area a little bit too soon.
Damn it. We gotta take better care of allies.
You need to take a little bit better care of yourselves. You're going to end up dead, my friend. Right, let's break out with skeletons. They might be a little bit more resilient than the... Oh, no, don't. Everybody run that way. Skeletons. Do skeleton things to that guy. And then I, and only I, want to run over here. There we go, murder. This is still... Yeah, Ida's gonna die. Like, straight up die. Yeah, he's dead. I don't think there's enough in me for recovering from this, even if I did want to be solid. Yeah, okay. Ida's dead. We'll just have to deal with it. I'm unconscious. It's just a cleric now. This is not a good place to be. Nope. The cleric just nearly got knocked out in one punch. That really doesn't do much damage. Yeah, everybody's unconscious. Alright, load the game. Let's try this one again. If at first
Darcier's fallen! Back to the matron, now!
What was that?
Hey.
Right, okay. If at first you don't succeed, skydiving is not for you. Now, let's pick up that jerky. Let's pick up those berries. Let's pick up whatever's in there.
Silence surrounds me.
Everybody starts, everybody sneaks, but you're gonna go this alone. So we're gonna see if it's possible just to aggravate one of these things, rather than all of these things.
Got an arrow for this one.
Run away! That is not running away. I think you got shot. I like that way that little wolf is just tanking it up over there. What do we got? What do we got? We got rid of one of them. Yay! Okay, next one. Let's bring in some skellies. Oh, there's the wall leader. I did not realize that the wall leader was in that. I might have saved some more magic for you if I'd have known you were in there. Will you not run around? Who's not doing things? That's... There we go. Reduces slashing and piercing damage of enemies. That's not going to help. I don't have one for this. How do I don't think I can edit these. I need to do some slight more maintenance on these things at some point. Right, let's have another one of them go out. Let's have some more of this go out. We're running out of skeletons. If you guys could just annoy the cannoneers right at the back, that might give us some time to take care of these guys. More magic, all the magic! Scrolls, grenades, any expendables. The thing is, there's not... I'm terrible at these kind of things because I never feel that they're good enough. You know, most of the things, it's like minor potion of regeneration, that's going to restore endurance. Or the minor potion of endurance, which is going to restore endurance. We've got this, which restores endurance. I'm not injured in any way, shape, or form. The ones who are, you know, Ida here is desperately injured, and even if we did restore his endurance, there is a possibility that essentially just going to raise it up to the point where he can die. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a minor situation. But what else have we got? We got 15% of hits converted to crits. That might have been useful. It's a little bit late now. Maybe I should have taken care of that. What else we got? We got Potion of Iron Skin. Damage reduction until hit or critically hit. That is That's really not that useful. It's like, oh yeah, you can negate 8 points of damage. Deflection until hit or critically hit. Again, useless. What else we got? Minor recovery. Minus 4 duration on all the hostile effects. They're not doing anything. They're just pummeling us into the ground. What else we got in here? What else we got in here? We got beer. We got oil. We have some scrolls. Might help. Who's got some scrolls? We got crackling bolt, which is area effect. Everything in that area. So that's not a faux AoE. That's not a faux AoE. That's only against one target, but that's Miluet's minor missiles, and I'm pretty sure they've got that prepared as a spell. A lot of these, I feel, you know, creates a long-lasting circle healing, regenerating ally endurance, and it's like, yeah, the until hit, you know, there's two. There's a plus 40 deflection, which might have been useful. You know, if we take a quick look at Ida here, with these, the Potion of Wizards double, his deflection is 40. 50, sorry, and that gives a 40 bonus. So bumping it up to 90 gives him, you know, twice as much deflection, which means that he might not get hit quite as quickly. But when he does hit, he goes straight back down again, and this, I'm guessing, yeah, it's the same. It's like until if this one damage reduction applies until they're hit once. Yeah, there's also potentially other things. Didn't want that one. I wanted that one. You know, there's this jerky, which is like 8 endurance. They have 152 endurance. That's not going to make too much of a difference. Intellect is going to increase certain attributes. Not really doing it for me. And perception. So, perception is accuracy and reflex defense, grants a bonus to interrupt. And intellect is will defense, the duration and area of effect of abilities and talents. So it's like, I feel just getting pummeled into the ground. It needs to be all defense. That I just don't have. Right, one of the tanks just got knocked out. Everybody else is getting knocked out. How are we doing on the spells? I do, to a certain degree, feel like I've arrived here too soon. And what I could possibly do with is leaving and coming back when I'm of the appropriate level. The baddest thing, think you're here in just in time. Yeah, I mean, they're all in favor of those being here because we're just getting murdered. Right, if you guys come back over here and you run away, everybody run away.
Here's a lesson to be taught.
Oh, that's interesting. Most of them guys are running off. So if we can take care of this guy, maybe we can go rest up and maybe come back and finish this. Oh, not you. Oh no, you got knocked out. Okay, that's why you're refusing to listen to my answers. Oh, they exploded. Okay, nice. Okay, everybody over here. Right, loot that stuff. Loot those things and run away! Because when your tanks have got 2 hit points between them, I think now is the time to retreat. What? That's bad. I thought I took care of everything in this area. Did I go up and around this? I don't remember which way I came around, but there's a guy down there. I do like the way that your visibility or your visual range is enough that you can actually, you know, and it auto pauses quickly enough that you're not always caught just because you've seen somebody and you weren't stealthing. The mushroom there. Alright, okay. To the drywood! Closest place is probably Obsidian Entertainment, which is 24 hours away. Yeah, it's not a case you don't seem to see them or you're in combat. No, yeah, it's Oh. We've got an event. The Bleak Hollow bandits from the Northern Wilds have been reported crossing the plains east of Obsidian Entertainment. They will be on our doorstep any day now. I don't want to click on that button where it says auto-resolve or manually resolve, because if that's like throws us into combat right now, that might sting. So we're gonna go rest up. Don't really want to change out the party. Oh, that was something that I read about this, which was Needs a I will resolve tomorrow button. Yeah, potentially. Although it does, it doesn't force you to pick one straight away, and it does tell you how long you've got. I got 2 days and 10 hours remaining, so it's I'm gonna go nap and then take care of it. Just realized I don't have my vape over here. I don't know where it is right now. I think it's over on my bed. Be right back. It was over on my bed. Right. Everybody jump into the same bed, because apparently there's lots of rooms, but we don't use them. Well, nothing terrible happened, which is kind of expected. And now we're going to click on manual resolve and see what happens. That's what I was afraid of. Yes. You manually resolve this by going in to the place and taking care of the bandits. We also have the people that we hired around here, which is kind of useful. We hired some really scary individuals. That's something that I needed to do. Somebody remind me to sort out my chants. Well, that was it. I mean, with the number of hirees that I've got around here, I probably didn't really need to get involved in that.
Looks a little healthier than before.
It looks a lot
more gifts, and people will start thinking you're playing favorites.
healthier than before. How are we doing on this? 2 days, 16 hours. I can hire 2 more people, I think. The Gold Pack Knight, because I do like security, and the Line Breaker. If I had a Line Breaker. I could have sworn I saw a Line Breaker in that setup. Remember to sort out my chants. That's what I need to do. Because there's this which I picked up, which is friendly aura plus 20 reload speed plus 20 ranged attack speed. Meaning that is going to be useful because I've got 4 people who make ranged attacks. I think we're going to take out this one because I don't get too up close and personal a lot of the time. Yeah, I can alternate these 2. So one of the things is, as far as I can make out, basically it lingers. You got the duration and it's got the linger, and so that's the duration of the chant, and then it lingers for that amount of time. So when I start this chant, it basically refreshes the timer. If I take that out and put that in, this chant is 3.6 seconds. This linger is 3.9 seconds, meaning that there's 0.3 seconds where this is still in effect and this chant has ended. And because it cycles, it will go back to this one. So I'll have constantly the reload speed and occasionally the faux dampening. Although I might actually, yeah, let's go with this, where it increases the friendly fortitude and will. And that way it will constantly cycle the increased speed and give us a bit of a boon some of the other times. Sort out your chance. Remember to sort out your chance in your head. If not, you might end up dead.
Hey.
But Tish, thank you for that. Saber and J Station. I literally would have forgotten if you hadn't have reminded me. Right. Okay. Do I want to go back off to the White March? It's going to take me another day to get back. Try to secure that village. I wasn't doing very well at it. I'll leave it for a while. I think I'm going to leave it for a while. Travel to Cragholt and investigate the conflict. Where's Cragholt? Oh, there's the Cragholt Bluffs. Okay. Need to increase my reputation in the city before I can do that one. Continue to get no endurance. That's just a matter of time. I don't really want to go into the endless paths and the master below right now. I don't know where this cliff is. Go to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries in Copper Lane. The Elder Archives is hidden in the Hall of Revealed Mysteries, which is in Copper Lane, and find the Elder Archives somewhere in the Great Library located there. Oh. Alright. So many things to do, and it's all like I never know what's best to do in what order in these things. That's something. If anybody's got a moment to look up, what I kind of want to know is if this game is, the enemies, are they statically leveled? So it doesn't matter when I go, they're always going to be. I'm pretty sure that's the second payday that they've had without making any money. Where's my taxes, people? See, I made money. I made money on turn 5 and turn 10. And just before 5 it was the 15th, and just before 10 it was the 18th, so it's about 3 days. And in those 3 days, I got 2 lots of taxes. Between the 5th and the 10th, no taxes whatsoever. There was turns. The taxes are collected on turns, but there hasn't been a turn since the turn 22, which was 6 days ago. I do not understand this system. Yes, this is. It does not have level scaling. Everything throughout in the game is fixed level. Sure. This is this Pillars of Eternity one? Yes, it is, with the White Marsh expansions. By the dock. I'm guessing that's a dock over here. I've been here before. I'm not too worried. So yeah, one of the useful things about it being leveled and static leveling, it's like, if you go to a place and it's too difficult, then you can always, wait until you've gone up a couple of levels and go back there. The problem is, with this kind of thing, is I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 different things to be doing And I have no idea what levels any of these are. So I have no idea what is the best order to be doing these things in. When you enter certain areas at a level that is higher than the recommended one, it asks you whether you want to scale up enemies or leave them as they are. Wait, what? Oh, okay, so basically if you're massively overleveled, it will suggest that maybe you want to level up the enemies. But it doesn't do it the other way around. So if I walk into an area and they're massively out-leveling me, it doesn't warn me and go, you might not want to be here, or do you want to lower these people? It's like, nope. It's only when you're overleveled does it go, do you want to make this more difficult for yourself? You there, did Commander Cleaver send you? Yes, he did.
Good day, stranger.
The woman sizes you up, squinting in the darkness. You've come a long way from the Crucible Keep, I take it. I was told you'd have something for me. Tell me about what's happening in Fleetbreaker Castle. Her eyes narrow, but she eventually shrugs. You're obviously helping Commander Cleaver, so I suppose I can tell you. The High Justice has been gathering forces there. This mess with the legacy, the unrest, and the man-eating corpses all over the Drywood. It isn't going to go away anytime soon, and the dozen are using this as an opportunity for a power grab. She straightens. We've got to build up strength to defend the Drywood as well as our position here, and these Forge Knights at our disposal will be unstoppable. What's your role in this? I'm a commander stationed at Fleetbreaker Castle. I was sent to retrieve the research by the High Justice himself. She leans in closer. And since you know what this research is all about, you can imagine how eager I am to get back to the castle with it quickly and quietly. Give her Viviana's research. Here it is. Excellent. I should get these back to the High Justice before. She looks over your shoulder at the sound of approaching footsteps. It's too late. Get ready. Allow me to get ready then. I want to turn around so that the tanks are in the front. No? Okay. The man's twists his face into a snarl. Are you mad? You hold the Screechers to one of the foulest examples of animancy, and you want to hand it over to the Crucible Knights? He shakes his head. It's an abomination. Caged souls used as weapons, and you give these to the silk stockings of an army of... You give these silk stockings an army of them. He raises his axe, tightening his grip around the haft. I can't let you do this. The research must be destroyed. I'd like to see you try. Kill them all. Yay, turn the group around. That was messy. Alright, let's have some fireball. I think we can fireball this. Fireball! Anytime you're ready. You're in the back. You really don't want to be in the back. Right, you come around here. You move up there. You guys move up there. You start chanting the right thing. Can we kill this guy already? Yeah, it's a learning of the hard way about these things. It doesn't... It annoys me in some cases. You know, and it wouldn't take much to a certain degree. That might be bad. With Aaron dead, the Forge Knight research will never reach Fleetbreaker Castle. In any case, I should return to the Crucible Keep in the first fires and report back to Commander Cleaver. You know, all it would take is some kind of color coding, you know, green, orange, red. Or, you know, a little level marker where it's like, these are level or appropriate for level 4, 5, 6. And, you know, point out that maybe, you know, in the loading messages where it's like, yeah, you don't have to do these in order. You can achieve them in out of order, and you know, if you fancy a challenge, or if you're not up for much of a challenge, do the easiest ones first. Yeah, I appreciate to a certain degree. It's one of them where when compared to, so like, an actual tabletop experience, it makes sense that, you know, you don't at a tabletop have the discussion of, you know, what level everything is and what level everybody needs to be and the rest of it. And occasionally, you know, you'll end up with situations, not always, because one of the things is when there's a GM behind the screen running the show, it's a little bit on them to guide you along the right path. There's an interesting debate in the gaming industry at the moment about accessibility, particularly how it relates to the game difficulty. Yeah, there is that aspect of it, and I mean, to a certain degree, a lot of role-playing games have already gone down that route. That is the level of difficulty as a means of accessibility outside of any other accessibility needs. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I'm a big fan of when it comes to anything to do with computers. It's all like, I have had this argument in work sometimes. It's like, okay, let's just hold for a moment and wonder, how does this look like from somebody's perspective if they're colorblind, or if they have limited mobility and the rest of it, because, you know, these are all factors, and it seems daft to me that you can't at least consider them. You know, I remember bringing up colorblindness one time in work, and it was like, why are you colorblind? And it's like, no, I'm not. And it's like, then why does it matter? And it's like, we were developing something internally at the time to be used by the staff rather than selling this externally. And it's like, that's fair enough, but what happens when your next employee is colorblind, or one of them somewhere along the line is colorblind? What are you going to do then? And it's like, well, if that happens, I suppose we'll just have to redevelop it. And it's like, is it really that difficult to consider putting in things for colorblindness at the base level, and this issue never occurring? Because if, you know, you get a new employee and they take one look at the screen and it's like, I'm struggling to read anything here because I'm colorblind. It's like, oh, well, you won't be able to use this piece of software until we redevelop it. And, you know, internal tills and redevelopment is not a money-making venture, so it's not a high priority, I'm sad to say, for internal development, especially when it comes to sort of like this system has been in use for the last 10 years, and it's like, why does it need changing now? It needs changing because we have somebody who cannot see the screen. Well, maybe... Yeah, no, there's no fucking excuse for it. You need to do something about the accessibility. I just don't see why you don't put that consideration in day one rather than waiting until it actually becomes a problem. When it comes to difficulty in video games, role-playing games have had this for a while, these isometric ones. Pathfinder Kingmaker had it. Can't remember how old that game is. Pillars of Eternity has it. Baldur's Gate for their enhanced edition got it, and it is this, the level of difficulty which is known as Storytime or Story Mode. And it says at the bottom, Storytime mode is for players who are more interested in exploration and story development than the challenges of combat. While Storytime is active, the enemy composition in battles is the same as normal difficulty, but the game mechanics are biased in the player's favour. Additionally, the party can carry an unlimited number of camping supplies. And camping supplies are unique to this game, but at the same token, you know, there are also other things that you can turn on, turn off here. No knockout injuries, so whenever anybody gets knocked out, they get an injury which will debuff them in some way until they're rested up. Here it will give you indications of what your conversations are going to do in terms of the options that you make. This will give you information on what details you don't that you can't choose, so that, you know, in another playthrough, if you're only interested in the, or if you're more interested in the story and the way that the story branches, you know that the option is there, and it might even give you some detail as to what options are locked behind certain options. And, you know, there's a whole scale from top to bottom. I get that in some cases. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that the story mode is great for certain situations. You know, in Pathfinder Kingmaker, there was times where it's like I was just getting more frustrated at the game and being unable to win a fight because of the mechanics than I was interested in continuing playing the game. And because it's in one of the option menus, just lower down the difficulty, take care of that fight, jump the difficulty back up. And I enjoyed it for most of the game and completed the game actually on story mode because the last fight was a doozy. And I agree that that should be the thing for anything that is very heavily narrative based. On the flip side of that, you've got games like Super Mario, where it's a platformer. It's a little bit reaction based. It's a little bit trying to do things carefully. But I don't think, to a certain degree, most of these games like that have a difficulty setting. I can't... You know, I remember the original Super Mario Brothers where it was like, do you want to start with one player or two players? And that was it. That was the entirety of it. There wasn't any difficulty back then, but then again, a lot of games back then didn't have difficulty gauges. And if you didn't like that, if you thought that Super Mario Brothers, because of whatever reason, was more difficult than you were enjoying, you just didn't play those games. There wasn't much of a story to latch onto anyway, you know, quite literally. there doesn't. The only narrative that you get in Super Mario Brothers is everything that you see on the level is trying to kill you. And when you reach the castle after 3 levels, you find out that the princess is in another castle until you get to the end game, where you actually get to rescue the princess. And they say a short line, and that's it. Job's done. So introducing a difficulty there to make it more accessible in terms of difficulty, it's like, what are you going to actually introduce? And is that to a certain degree not taking away the whole point of the game? And, you know, to a certain degree, there is a other aspect which is also kind of difficult to justify / could do with some degree of communication or discussion about, is games like the Dark Souls series, where they are explicitly designed to be difficult games. There is some narrative, there is some plot, there is exploration and places to go and things to see. But that is gated behind these extremely difficult fights. But at the same token, I don't find myself wanting to play a Dark Souls game for the story, when the key mechanic of the game is that the fights are difficult. That would just be an exercise in patience for me. I would get really annoyed fairly quickly and not want to continue playing the game. I'd put it down, never play it again. I don't personally feel the need in Dark Souls to have an easy difficulty setting or a story mode difficulty setting. Not because I feel that there's something in the game that makes it superior because it's difficult fights. It's just that's the way that the game was designed. And if you don't like that design element of it, then tough. Admittedly, to a certain degree, you know, there's also the flip side of this, where it's like, so what if they make it easier? You know, there's been plenty of times where I've played video games, especially when I was younger, where it was like, I get up to a certain point and it's like, this is impossible. And, you know, you go online, you find a cheat code, and, you know, regardless of what cheat code it is, you know, it just makes it that little bit easier. And you manage to overcome it. Or you turn on God mode and it just makes it instantly easy. And then you get to continue experiencing the story. And just by having them in there, you know, players don't have to take advantage of these things. But if you are just wanting to play the game for the sake of playing the game, even if you do turn on the cheats, or if you do turn down the difficulty, does that matter? Not at all. You know, a lot of the games are meant to be enjoyed, and if that's the way that you enjoy the game, it doesn't really make too much difference whether you're enjoying it at the difficulty that it was originally designed at, or whether you're enjoying it with all the cheat modes enabled and running around having fun. I'm one of them where it's like, I'm not a massive fan of cheating when it comes to video games. It's just the way that I am. If I get to a certain point in a game and it's too difficult for me, I generally tend to potentially lower down the difficulty, which may or may not be considered cheating. Why is there an assassin? Why is there a lot of assassins? Why did nobody take care of that little assassin who's crawling up behind us?
Leave it to me.
Can't get a good shot.
Could somebody take care of that assassin? Anybody? Alright, we could do with some will-o'-the-wisps. Alright, finally that one's dead. And that one's dead. And the wolf is dead, or knocked out at least. And that guy's dead. Oh, it's a crossbow.
Leave it to me.
I can see this person with sort of like something down at the ground and they're winding a handle and it's like, what are they doing? Drilling? Ew, it was a crossbow that they were cranking. A scrawled note written on a bit of scrap let's try spitting that one again. Written on this scrap of parchment is a concise but detailed description of you, including your name, your distinguishing features, and everyone you are known to have associated with in your brief time in Direwood. Why does it always got to be assassins? I like the way that they actually gave him more than one note. Right, you've got a lot of grimoires here. See, I don't know if it's worthwhile getting more spells for this guy. I don't really use... I use a very core group of spells. I don't go overboard and it's like, oh, one of these spells, and one of these spells, and one of these spells, and switch grimoire, and then use this spell. It's overkill. Why would you bother? Why are you carrying around fish? And are all the novice grimoires exactly the same? I believe they are. Okay. So, don't need 2 copies of a novice's grimoire. Grimoire of a Dozen Wizards. No idea where I picked that up. But at the same token, you know, it's like, I don't need every spell, but at the same token, what am I spending the money on, apart from upgrading the stronghold? So, did my journal update anything on that? It's just like, there's assassins after me, maybe I should be concerned about this. No. Nothing whatsoever. Defeat the rogue Forge Knights. What? Well, the rogue knights have gone rogue. I mean, the Forge Knights have gone rogue. Who would have thought it? The artificial abominations are, well, turned against us. Why am I not surprised? Has my... I just want to double check something. Yeah, okay. Oh, he got an arse handed to him. Get up and start fighting again.
You're not getting through me.
Why does every fight in this game have to be difficult?
That's it.
You taking any of these out yet? No. Alright. Let's throw some will-o'-the-wisps in there.
Can't get a good.
A criminal by the name of Near in deft hands has arrived in the stronghold and is seeking something or other. In the middle of a fight, you really think this is has arrived at the stronghold seeking aid in fleeing the Direwood.
This thing isn't doing.
That's healing them. Whatever that ability is, I do believe it is healing them. Curse your sudden and inevitable betrayal. Criminal named Deft Hands, lol. If I was going to do character creation challenge, I would 100% do one called Death Punk.
Can't get a good shot with this.
You're not getting through me.
They're healing faster than I can murder them. If you guys would stop this bullshit, it would be much appreciated. There we go, final one.
I'm seeing red now.
Hey.
I mean... God damn it. By the way, not the Fortunates. What is this place called? The Crucible Knights are supposed to be some of the toughest defenses that Defiance Bay has got to offer. Yeah, all of these people are just dying. Where are you running off to? Oh, son of a bee sting. Thank you for finally dying.
Can't get...
More will-o-wisps.
Word.
Oh, this one can't get close enough to the fight, so it's just circling it. I don't suppose you want to tell me what's going on around here? Dot 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 and dot dot dot. Okay, great. Great talk, great talk. Thank you very much. I'm going to be looting our friends' bodies here. Because they don't need this money anymore. They're dead. It is time to move on. You're not looking in a happy place. Let's field triage you.
Hey.
Slow and silent.
Okay, you're just a car, so you don't need to be murdered just yet. Okay, so we found the competent people, folks. Love the way that they're, they're not running around securing the rest of the place. They're just like, yeah, we're just gonna stay here. We can talk once all these damn Forge Knights in the keep have been taken down. Okay, so basically you're just not gonna be any use to me whatsoever. Need to run around this entire place and be like, secure your facility, shall I?
I'll take a look.
It's moments like this where it's like, I do kind of wish, if this was a TTPRG, I'd be so like, why am I doing this? What is my motivation? Why can't these people help out and take care of their own facility? I know it's not really a facility, it's a building or whatever, but yeah, to be heroic is fair enough. In a lot of cases, if this was the poorhouse or if this was, an orphanage or something like that, and then I'd be all over this. I get it. These people that are just stood around are supposed to be battle-hardened warriors with sufficient training to be able to take care of themselves. They're not dead or dying on the floor. They're just stood up going, we'll talk once this has been dealt with. And it's like, alright, I suppose I should go deal with this. They didn't even say that much. I could just be looking around to try and find these last few, and eventually I'll go back there. It's like, oh good, you've secured, you've wandered through the whole facility and not found any more. I guess it's safe to talk now. Oh, we got more over here. I need you guys to move in the room and then attack. Yeah, I do like that when it comes to real-time strategy games, especially games, You were playing Populous the other day. JStation64 also streams over on Twitch, twitch.tv/JStation64. And there was this one guy just stood there, being alive. Maybe actually doing the whole final act of attempting to kill you by charging at you. I think that was one of the things that one of the people said. It's like I've gone into defeat mode where they just charge at you. And it's all like, that's not too bad of a solution for it as well. But there's some games, Command and Conquer, the original one, I believe, had an absolute annoying thing in that the game, you know, if you needed to destroy the enemy and everything to do with the enemy, then it would quite literally leave a game level active, as it were. You know, waiting for you to defeat all of the enemy. And it's just like, really, was it necessary for me with this massive army to go hunt down this one person? And in some levels, it was really annoying. It must have been Red Alert 1 that also had this feature aspect to it. Because one of the things that I remember is that there's a level with you're the Allies, you're going against the Soviets, and the Soviets have submarines. Yeah, you've got to find this one submarine, which is just hiding out there somewhere. And you know, Armada, you said that they had a ability where you could click on a button, search and destroy, and it would automatically scout out the places until it found somebody. But Red Alert didn't have this feature, so you ended up having to just spend so much potential time just throwing out more ships that could go around and try to find this last submarine. And you might even find that it'd already been engaged in a fight. It got so damaged that it tried to retreat back to a repair bay. The repair bay you've since destroyed, so it's just circling there with next to no health. Because the AI wasn't programmed to either try to go for the all-out attack, or, you know, the game wasn't destroy their base, it was kill all of the enemy, so the win condition wasn't reached. Just little things like that were a bit annoying back in the day. You know, like you say, which is why when destroying buildings in Populous, I was thinking, you had pretty much won, to be fair. There's nothing that the enemy can do in Populous, especially if you're on top of repeat killing their shaman, to bring that back from the edge. So you had won, it's just you've not finished. And it's just like little quality of life things that they've changed over the years when it comes to real-time and strategy games. Well, let's see what Commander Cleve has got to say.
My Justiciars were training the Forge Knights. In the next, they were being cut to pieces.
Commander Cleve either wipes a streak of blood from his forehead.
But the survivors owe their lives to your skill. You fought valiantly, worthy of any seasoned soldier. In fact, I'm naming you an honorary Justiciar. As a reward for your service, please accept this blade and armor, worthy of a Knight of the Crucible. If there's anything else I can do for you, you need only ask. I'll send word to Fleetbreaker Castle immediately. We clearly didn't understand the Forge Knights as well as we thought. For now, we'll have to continue recruiting the old-fashioned way.
So lives are lost for nothing. Keep researching the Fortunites. I'm sure you'll find a way to keep them under control.
It's a rare person who can get me to change my mind. Very well. We'll continue with the research, keeping only one Forge Knight active at a time, and under heavy guard.
You've gained the item Shame or Glory added to inventory. You've gained the item Crucible Knight Officer Armor added to inventory. Bunch of experience and a feat or ability. The old-fashioned way, conscription. I mean, they're not conscripts, these people? They really don't, they don't buy into that kind of thing? Where? Oh, here we go. Shame or Glory. A gift given to a young soldier before he left to fight the War of Black Trees. This blade earned its name through the efforts of its bearer. The gilded sword was a common sight on the battlefield, held aloft and challenged once the soldier spotted a target. His fellows would converge upon the foe, and time again they found victory. Such was the sword's influence upon morale of the troops that on occasion that the soldier nearly succumbed to a hail of gunfire and arrows, prompting a swift retreat. A frustrated commander decided that the sword should have a new name, for it seemed to be what determined if they had achieved shame or glory. Plus 10 accuracy when when below 50% endurance, plus 20% damage while endurance is below 50%. Wow, that's really oddly worded to have two very similar phrases. Plus 10 accuracy when below 50% endurance, and 20% damage while endurance is below 50%. Why did they have a difference? Plus 10%. Plus 10 accuracy while an ally attacks. While an ally attacking the same target. I think that's also poor English. Not sure. That's not a bad sword. What kind of sword is it? It's a unique one-handed sword. Hey, guess what? You got a new sword. Ta-da! Shame or glory. Actually need to ditch most of his stuff into his inventory. Actually, what about this? How are we doing for armor for this guy? Oh, yeah, that's fine brigandine versus plate armor. So yeah, that can go away. But what's this? Crucible Knight armor. Heavy armor and fine. There we go. Don't you look dapper? What are you in? Properties Defiant. Plus 50% armor damage reduction when under 25% health. Okay, that's not too bad. Does this have anything else? No. Alright. This can go in there, and this can go in there, and this can go in there, and this can go in there. Poor English, good sword. Oh yeah, really good sword. Especially for the frontliners who seem to be sort of like getting crunched a lot of the time. See, this is another thing that I could potentially do / go for when it comes to combat, and I'm not entirely sure, is like setting up these dart traps. You know, some of these traps, you know, we got Noxious Burst Trap, AoE 17 to 23 corrode damage, sickening, accuracy reduced, fireball traps. There's only one game where I've actually found traps like that to be particularly useful. The old Neverwinter Nights game. It was just very easy if you were playing a rogue to set up traps, but again, it's one of them where I found it a bit annoying because it was like you had to basically issue commands to your followers to be sort of like, stay here, do not move. Go down a corridor setting up traps, find the bad guy, drop out of stealth, go ha, and then run off. And they would follow you down the corridor setting off traps, and when they triggered the last trap, you then told your followers to sort of like, attack! But it actually had a really good quick bar system in that, I found. So it was very easy to be sort of like, stay here, attack that, attack them, attack what's attacking me, that kind of thing. Okay, so that was one quest done, I guess. You're not in the forge at the moment, mate. You didn't need to turn your eyes to the forge.
The Crucible Knights have their ambitions, but the stability of Defiance Bay is foremost in their mind. The Dukes are thinking only of their trading assets, not the long-term health of our partners in the Deerwood. If Defiance Bay falls, all we will have left are overland routes. Not much comfort.
I don't want to see anything bad happen to Defiance Bay either. She nods sharply. Good. When we tell the Duke, I hope he believes us. Right, so I think that's that quest line finished. I'm guessing my reputation in here isn't great. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that I got. I got a second skin. Oh, I got second skin plus 2 armor damage reduction. Just straight up armor for nothing to a certain degree. Risk. I don't remember this. Base minus 10%. 0 every 3 levels after 4. Looks like a typo to me. I mean, we'll find out at level 7, which we're almost there actually. Only 10 more levels to go in this game, I think. Did actually find out the exact number of companions in this game, or a way of figuring out exactly how many companions are in this game. One of the DLC, the last one, the White March, introduced another companion, and one of its taglines while I was reading it, it's like introducing a new companion for the Berserker or something like that. And basically it was like, now there is one of every playable class as a companion in the story. I see the stench hasn't driven you away yet. Wayla sent me. I'm looking for the missing guards. So you're the one she sent word about. The guard looks you up and down, frowning. I was expecting her to send in a squad of Justicars. Not that I'm volunteering, mind you. I'll have the gate open immediately. Just watch your step, and I'm afraid we can't send anyone after you if things go badly. Any idea what might have happened to the other guards? None. And I've no desire to find out, if you catch my meaning. The ones that disappeared weren't the deserting type. The worst part is, both times the watch disappeared, the next rotation found the gate unlocked. I don't know whether they went in or whether something got out. But if it's the latter, refugees are going to be the least of our problems. Have you heard or seen anything unusual? Friend, I tried to see and hear as little as possible. One of the women on the last watch said she heard someone shouting from the northeast part of the district. Something sounded like an order. But I don't see how anyone could survive in there. Once or twice I've caught a glimpse of something moving on the other side of the gate. The guard shudders. I'd just soon as forget it. Farewell, coward. And you call yourself... Oh, don't close the door. Go in. It's one of the problems with isometric games where it's like, you can't click that. We've got a skeletal ranger. Oh, we got lots of bad guys. A squad of just cars? When is this game set? Not just cars, justy cars. Say self-righteous order of people who think that they're bringing justice to a region. To a certain degree, their behavior sometimes it's all like very Judge Dredd-ish, where it's like they are the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Largely in regions of high instability, so that, or high crime, where, you know, justice has to be swift or it's next to non-existent. And we leveled up! Yay! Who is this Justine Car and why is there a squad of her? Just e-cars. Yes, people who own electric cars, it can be very self-righteous and judgy. I can turn off a chat, you know. I can just not pay attention to you guys. Won't be very streamer of me, but certainly would sort out some headaches you guys cause. Foe AoE frightened. Yeah. I'm going against skeletons, but you really think that's going to frighten them? 25 defense against being frightened, negative 10 seconds on the frightened duration, plus 15 defense on terrified, and negative 5 seconds on the terrified duration. Come see the violence inherent to the system. You guys do not make my job easy, okay? That's all I'm saying. Friendly aura, drop trap, rime and frost trap per 3 seconds. Allies leave hazardous trail of frost wherever they move, hobbling and causing freeze damage. And reduces accuracy of disengagement attacks for enemies in the area. I'm going to try this rime and frost to follow the falls of the Karth. Because why not? Steam's over. We broke him. GG. I mean, I'm a GM. Nothing truly ever breaks me for very long. It just... I lose the will sometimes. We got a new level of spells. We got Confusion. Confused an enemy for 10.4 seconds. once. Confused affliction makes the character behave erratically. Every 6 seconds, the target randomly checks to do one of the following: behave normally, attack an ally, walk in a random direction, or do nothing. I do like that phrasing on it. I know in terms of D&D and Starfinder, you know, you've got the confusion table, and it's usually got 4 entries, which is behave normally, attack the closest target, babble incoherently, and what's the last one? I don't think it's walk in a random direction. It's been a while since I looked up spells in the confusion. No. Can't spell confusion. Claire, commune with nature, compelled, confusion. I know, it is moving in a random direction for D&D. And it's not a 25% chance. It's on a roll of 1. The creature uses all its movement to move in a random direction. To determine the direction, roll a d8 and assign a direction for each die face. The creature doesn't take an action this turn. 2 through 6, the creature doesn't move or take actions. 7 to 8, the creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within reach. If there is no creature within its reach, the creature does nothing this turn. 9 and 10, the creature acts and moves normally. That's it. In Starfinder, it's a slightly different confusion table. It's got babble incoherently, which is stand around and do nothing. It's got attack the nearest creature. It's got attack self for 1d8 plus strength modifier damage and act normally. But in both of them, D&D and Starfinder, the phrasing is attack the nearest creature, which makes sense when it comes to D&D and Starfinder, because, you know, your placement on the table, it's controlled by the players, and they can use, if they realize what's going on, things to their advantage. You know, you make sure that between you and the confused individual there is the enemy, and therefore, you know, if they do happen to roll attack the nearest creature, it's going to be the enemy. But it's difficult to set up. In a game like this, where it's absolute chaos a lot of the time, I feel, trying to use that confusion to your benefit, especially to attack, you know, get the enemy confused and make sure that they are attacking the enemy with that effect. It's that's likely to be difficult, so they've changed it from attack the nearest creature to attack an ally. So, quite like that. One thing that I have just noticed, and this annoys me a little bit in a lot of video games, that plate armor is heaving. He is wearing plate armor, which is said to be a solid metal plate. Yet they're also breathing. So this plate armor is heaving in and out. That's not how metal works, folks. I appreciate that the complexities of designing a model that behaves like they're actually wearing a plate can be difficult, but at the same token, it's just one of them where it's like, do you really need a breathing animation if they're going to bend the laws of physics and bend metal just by breathing? Dimensional shift switches locations of the caster and one ally, leaving a shockwave between them that stuns all caught in the line of fire. Not bad. Essential Fathom creates a ghostly double of the caster, causing shock damage to enemies hit by her. With Flame Shield, engulfs the caster in fire, increasing their freeze damage reduction and causes burn damage to anyone who damages them with a melee attack. Iron Skin transmutes the caster's skin into iron, adding significantly to their damage reduction. This effect lasts up to 10 attacks. That's kind of better. Oh, that's interesting. See, the wording there says this effect lasts up to 10 attacks. Effect: caster +8 damage reduction until hit or critically hit. It doesn't say 10 times there. So it makes me wonder about the potion. Is that 10 times or just the once? Who knows? Minolet's concussive missiles. I do like these missiles, so I'm probably going to choose this one at least. Fires 5 missiles of pure force at the target, causing a shockwave of crushing damage to foes close to the impact. Like it, like it. It's only a foe AoE. They're always really nice. Minor arcane reflection. Causes hostile targeting spells up to 3rd level to be reflected back for a total of 10 spell levels. Minor Grimoire Imprint gives a caster access to up to 3 third level or lower spells of the target from the target, wizard, druid, or priest spell list. The wizard can subsequently cast those spells an unlimited number of times for the duration. It's only 20 seconds though, so it's kind of limited in that. Doesn't also tell me how to increase this time. Its base is 15. Its total is 19.5. Don't know how to make the difference there. Wall of Flame generates a fearsome vertical sheet of flame, inflicting burn damage to anyone moving through it. See, as with D&D and Starfinder, one of the things that I find annoying about Wall of Flame and spells like that is it doesn't actually do much damage. 5 to 8 burn damage. You can shrug that off. You run through the Wall of Flame. Just, it wants to be really crippling. You know, you really want it to be enough damage that it gives people pause for thought, and it's like, if I run through that, there is a chance that I might not make it, and there is a really good chance that I am going to be very, very disadvantaged when I get to the other side, if I make it to the other side. But no, it's 5 to 8 points of damage. This guy has got, you know, this is a wizard, one of the weakest health-wise classes of game. He's probably got over 100 endurance. Pull of Eora. You know, wizard summons a black sphere that draws all nearby enemies towards it each time it pulses. I mean, I do like that one as well. Oh, missed one. Mora's writhing tentacles. Mora summons a trio of powerful tentacles that cannot move but can inflict crush and corrode damage, and the stuck affliction to anyone they hit. Tentacles. Gonna go with the pull of Aura. Alright, who else gets to level up? You get a level up. And you get a level up. Take athletics. Oh, paladin abilities. I forgot you were a paladin. A passive area of effect. Allies +7 all defenses. 11 seconds. I do like passive ones. Well, that can be interesting. Coordinated attacks +10 accuracy granted to an ally attacking the same target. Passive again. So do I want the defense? I think I want the defense because we're getting murdered out there sometimes. And either. Vigorous defense, once per encounter, all plus 20 to all defenses. Unbending. 3 times a rest, instant. 50% of damage taken is converted to healing over time for 15 seconds. She only restores endurance though, I think. Yeah. Discipline barrage plus 20% accuracy once per encounter. Guardian stance, modal. Everybody's deflection goes up, but their accuracy goes down. Twice per rest, crushing and inflicts prone. Twice per encounter, foe takes piercing damage. And may leave them dazed. Overbearing guard, passive. Target is prone for 5 seconds. The fighter's disengagement action attacks have an increased accuracy, damage, and will not. Okay, so that might be useful, but I find that the enemies don't really move around. And immunity to frightened and terrified. We're gonna go with the. Yeah, we're gonna go with the vigorous defense. Let's buff that up, and it's once every encounter, so I can make sure that it always goes off. Can I actually do that? No, I can't.
Hey.
I was hoping to basically set it to auto do this whenever you get into an encounter. We already have the maximum number of camping supplies. Something twitches and shambles in the darkness between the slats. The rancid draft creeps from the house. Heritage Hill Cemetery.
I shall make it so. It's done.
Oh, there's the enemy.
Were de bil dan sawu.
See, this more feels like a place where I'm supposed to be. I'm not frantically trying to get off every ability that I've got every time that we step into combat. Endurance is leveled up. These vaults have already been pried open. No law for you. And you get another level of spells.
What?
What do we have? Barring Death's Door prevents a severely wounded character's health from reaching zero when it would result in the death of this character. The character can still be knocked out through endurance loss. Okay. Litany against minor afflictions. Shining beacon conjures an intensely luminous beacon of light, causing enemies in the area to take a penalty to all defenses and accrue burn damage over time. Triumph of the Crusaders imparts to allies the fever of righteousness in battle. When an ally in the area of effect delivers a killing blow, he or she regains endurance. Dang! 224 endurance per kill? Nobody's even got that much endurance in total. How long does that last? I'm guessing it lasts the entire combat. It could be useful.
Hey.
Let's loot the body.
Were de bil done.
That's it!
Bum 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 bum. Oh,
I can get it to spill its secrets.
I appreciate that I'm grave robbing, but I've decided that I'm not against this. Ooh, I got a thing. I think it went straight in here though. Plus 10 defense against spells might be useful. Let's have a look. Has anybody got a next slot open? Oh, really? Not really feeling it either. The cross-hatch claw marks score this fault.
Were de bil done.
Leave it to me!
I'm dragging them back down here.
You're not...
I thought he was immune to everything that made him immobile. Ah, a gargoyle rather than just a ghoul.
That's it!
Do sometimes wonder about, you know, one of the things in sort of like D&D and Starfinder is you've got ghouls, G-H-O-U-L, which I suppose is more pronounced ghoul than ghoul. But in this, where it's like, don't really want to use a potentially licensed name of ghoul, so we're just going to call them ghoul, G-U-L. But for the most part, I think you'd pronounce it roughly the same. It could be that, you know, the small plaque at the base reads "Freedom above all, Admeth Helmet Hadret." But it also makes me wonder to a certain degree, is that like Gull the traditional naming of something like that? Whereas, oh, this requires a proper key. The inscription underneath the family crest reads Valtas. I can go inside here. I didn't realize that this was actually a door. A door? A door. Hello. Not what I expected when I walked in the room.
Hey.
A woman turns when you enter. Her wide, pale eyes shine like lamps in the darkness of the tomb. 4 crucible knights hover nearby, their glazed expression fixed on her. Reinforcements at last. I hope you've come armed, because we've got to get out of here. Something about her seems hazy and insubstantial, even in the darkness of the tomb. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but you're already dead. Her eyes grew cold and hard. You'd better explain yourself, and quickly. You're a ghost, and you've been luring Crucible Knights to the deaths. She freezes in place, hovering in the air. No, that's not possible. It's only been... I can't be... The other side of the tomb is visible through her gaping mouth. She looks at her hands, seemingly for the first time, turning them in front of her. As her eyes and mouth widen in horror, she turns to you. What have you done to me? Her expression hardens, and the Crucible Knights behind her stir. Novitiates, attack!
Word day be
Try to concentrate on the big bad guy. Yeah, I got the feeling I found the missing sentries, thanks. Can we not kill them?
What have we here?
Oh, we found a trap in the middle of the room. Great stuff. No, we can't not kill them.
That's not very helpful.
Yeah, when anybody asks, we found them like that. Carefully does it. And that was not worth potentially getting blown up over. Oh, missed a body. Well, it's a bit of a shame that they couldn't be saved, but oh well. I'm going to risk my neck for them if they're going to attack me. Though I suppose I did risk my neck for them, although it was mainly putting them down, unfortunately. I must go back on Kickstarter at some point and figure out whether I actually paid enough to get my name in this game, and then potentially look up where it is. And what name I gave. Because if it's my actual name, I don't really want to be going and get over on stream if I can help it. Although, you know, historically I have accidentally mentioned my name on the stream. Not my full name though, I don't think. But I could have used an alias for this thing. But until I find it, we won't know. Oh. Ooh, a revenant.
Word day be done sawu.
All right.
Ta-da! From here, the mansion appears deserted. But I can open the door, so one would assume that it's not. Oh, somebody's got a level up. You've got a level up. Take your level in stealth. Suppose I should oh no. Survival's not great. Stealth might be useful. Swift aim, plus 20% attack speed, plus 50% reload speed, negative 7 accuracy. Heal companion twice per encounter, plus 46 endurance. I don't really care enough about the companion enough to bother doing that. I just don't feel that it's worth it. Plus 15%, plus 15 deflection against ranged attacks. Takedown twice per encounter. Animal companion knocks it prone. Diving flight. Passive. Ranged attacks bounce one time. Each ranged attack loosed by the ranger contains such force as to fly straight through the first target and then hit another target behind it for less damage. And that's just a passive ability. Heightens the predatory instincts of the ranger's animal companion, giving them a bonus damage to any creature suffering on giving them a bonus on any creature suffering damage over a time effect. Okay, so yeah. Need to get it with a damage over time and then it will kick in. Plus 10 accuracy when attacking the same target as the animal companion. And plus 15 defense on AoE attacks. Plus 15 for the animal companion on AoE. I'm going to go with driving flight. This looks like it could be a bigger place than I was hoping. The stairs are broken at least. Broken chairs, upended tables, and shattered vases block the access. Block for stairs. Splintered planks shift precariously. Theda, let us in. It's safe. Come out now. Open the door, Theda. The female Balgul sniffs the air and whirls around, hissing, "Survivor!"
Were they be
Focus fire on the ghouls. Lady Valdas. And then Lord Valdas.
All right then.
I can get it to spill its secrets. It's done.
Baltus's groundskeeper's letter. This is a note addressed to the household staff. Please see to it that the family mausoleum is swept and the Please see to it that the family mausoleum is swept and the marble polished. The key is hanging, as always, in the kitchen by the oven. I do find it odd sometimes that it's like, in this chest you find a cat! And now we have a cat that we can have as a pet, although I do like my black cat. This small black cat is grisly companion. From its thin hide is stretched over its bones, skin is rotting away around the chin, and there is an unsavory gleam in its golden eyes. All the same, it seems content to twine around your ankles, purring. Wait, was the cat in the box dead or alive? I believe it is alive. The sharp-eyed cat is a prestigious mouser and often goes bounding off the path in search of small prey. When light shines through from behind the map, there is a ragged hole to the outside, as if someone dug through. Welcome to the horror portion of the game.
Spill its secrets. It's done.
Valtas Monarchy. Close the door again. Won't let me close the door again. I'm aware of Schrodinger's cat.
You're not getting through me. That's it.
It's not really about whether the cat is dead or alive, it's about the fact that the state of the cat is unknown.
Leave it to me.
It's not both dead and alive at the same time, it's just, it's got to be one of the two things, but it's an absolutely unknowable state. And the only way to know said state is to observe the cat, and thus it and by observing it, it is no longer in a state, in that quantum state. Galvin Regged. Mention the name Get Regged in the Air Glanfath and you will be told stories of a glorious freedom fighter. An Orlan who used his tactical savvy and battle training to protect the Glanfathan from the encroaching evil of the invaders in the Direwood. Ask someone in the Direwood about him and you'll hear the angry retellings of the exploits of an underhanded, dirty fighting Orlan who terrorized Direwodian citizens. This conflict is what the legends are built on, and the Glanvenregged is the stuff of legends. The Brokenstone War began from a misunderstanding between the Glenfarthans who lived in Direwood and the Adrian colonists who were moving in. Tensions were already high between the two groups, as the Adrians claimed lands the Glenfarthans had already said they already owned. Add to it the Glenfarthans taken and forced into slavery by the Adrians, and it was only a matter of time before something snapped and sent the two groups to war. There was the occasional skirmish or fight between isolated groups, but no real conflict until the Brokenstone War. Whether intentional or not, Adrian farmers clearing land for their crops knocked over and destroyed one of the ancient menhirs that dot the countryside. The Glenfarthans, who revered the ancient structures in the Direwood, reacted swiftly and violently, led by a particularly fanatical Fang by the name of Regd. While the war was short-lived and the Glenfarthans were ultimately not the victors, Regd and his forces were able to eliminate a significant number of colonists. After the war ended, Regd was appointed the Galvan, or leader of the Glenfarthan tribes. His leadership skills and prowess in battle earned him the respect of all the tribes of Glenfarth. Because of the tribes that were unified behind him, he was able to move and coordinate their warriors in a way that organized them into such an efficient team. The Adrian colonists lived in fear of his next attack. His name and reputation spread throughout both lands. Over 2 years following the Brokenstone War, Regd and his forces, using deception, misinformation, and straightforward guerrilla tactics, killed hundreds. The remaining girls sent word to the Ferkonig, saying something must be done before more nobility is killed, but Regd continued to terrorize the colonists, and it seemed the campaign will never end. That is, until he encountered Egrand Hadred. Lord Valtas's will. A last will and testament has been carefully drawn up on a stained piece of sackcloth. It lists of all Lord Valtas's various titles and holdings, ending with the following. Should no member of my family survive, it is my wish that my wealth and property be dispensed to the Crucible Knights. Let my wife and children and me be buried at with my forebearers in the Valtas tomb at the right hand of the Duke Hadret. Signed, Valerio Valtas, fifth Lord of House Valtres. It is not known if the cat is dead or alive. What we do know, it is most definitely pissed off. Safe haven? You think this place is safe? One way we're just going through it. It's like, yeah, beer's good. This seems to be the hook mentioned in the letter, but the mausoleum key is missing. Is this place actually safe? Because I could possibly do with the rest. I'm pretty sure I've heard the name Seda before. But I can't remember how or why. Bum 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 bum. Oh yeah, it's got camp wood in there, or camp supplies in there. Huh, was not expecting to see somebody alive. The stale loaves are as hard as rocks. Left out to rot, these potatoes are covered in wet, rank-smelling bruises. Stealing your mushrooms, though? Ecantha. A woman bends over a roaring fireplace, feeding a splintered chair leg into it. As you get closer, you notice something unnatural about her. A certain pallor to her skin, a lack of movement between her beneath her flesh, even while As you get closer, you notice something unnatural about her. A certain pallor to her skin, a lack of movement beneath her flesh, even while her arms execute death-efficient movements. And then you see the puckered flesh, ragged and bloodless, over the heart. Be careful. This one thirsts for kif blood.
It's rude to stare, you know. Don't worry. I've no mind to start anything with you. After all, I've stayed in such good shape by choosing my meals carefully.
She laughs to herself. Who are you?
A survivor, by the grace of my own careful preparations. When I heard the claws scrabbling at the door outside, I took care of matters myself. And since then, I've been careful to keep myself fresh and fed.
Do you know what's happened here?
An incredible act of animancy, of a magnitude this part of the world likely hasn't seen since Within times. Someone found something very powerful and ancient, and I'd bet my own preserved life it wasn't Aldhelm or his lovely assistant.
Still don't understand why this district is full of walking corpses. She spins from the fire to face you. Because someone found a way to tether their souls to their bodies, don't you see? She taps her skull with an impatient finger. So when the heart stops beating, when the blood stops flowing, their bodies still animate, and with a newfound hunger. She turns back to the fire. Those that can feed it with living flesh, in essence, stay strong and sharp. Those that can't degenerate quickly. Tell me what you know about this Aldhelm. Sorry. His name barely merits repeating. He's a charlatan who liked to dig up pretty artifacts and call himself a scholar. It's a pity with animancy these days, it's just about anyone can claim to be an expert. I see. She smirks. I truly doubt that. I saw you in a vision. There's something you need to do for me.
Believe me, I've heard that line before.
It's time for me to get going. I love the way that that's... Undying Heritage. There we go. The Acolyte showed me a vision of an ancient tower in a derelict district of Defiance Bay. There was a strange man in the tower working on some kind of machine. I also saw a woman with a scar over her heart. I don't know where she is, but I suspect that she holds the key to whatever happened there. I'm rooting for the rest of your
I
house.
shall make it so. It's done. I shall make it so.
The reason
It's
why
done.
I'm good at picking locks. Oh, hello. Spider fingers. Restore light endurance 3 times per rest, plus 1 perception. Gloves, gauntlets, and braces offer a variety of benefits. Something or someone snapped this candelabra in two. You're not one of the Icantha's servants. Please, you've got to get us out of here before she feeds on us. What happened to you? We're just groundskeepers. When the district fell into chaos, Icantha took us in, said we'd be safe until the Knights got things under control. Instead, she locked us in here every week with one of those monsters who serves her comes in and takes us away. I don't know what she's doing, but sometimes we hear the screams. Please get us out of here. Stay here for now. And now I'm going to get in trouble for poking around where I don't belong. No? Let's save and see if I get into trouble.
You return. What if you come seeking this time?
I came across a group of people in the back room. She clucks. I hope you didn't disturb them. Rounding them up is quite the chore. It's odd that you're not giving. I'm not getting any options to attack or do something here. Just feels a little bit, really? At some point, I'm gonna have to go back into the rest of Defiance Bay and rest up. Or perhaps go back to the safe haven and try resting there. Heritage Hill Cemetery. I'm pretty sure some other signpost said that as well. Crockware, stale foodstuffs, and once priceless vases, now chipped and cracked, fill this wagon.
Were they build on salt?
You're not getting through me.
This mausoleum has been sealed tight. This mausoleum, however, I can rob.
Were they build on?
Leave it to me.
Let's just go.
That's it.
Settle!
I do need to go back and rest. I'm mainly concerned about Ida. Cobbling. It also seems like a reasonable place to call this session. Especially seeing as I'm running out of coffee. Over to the Goose and Fox. Although isn't there somebody here at the Goose and Fox who wants to speak to me about things? Oh no, it's a different in the Charred Barrel in the Brackenbury district. I'll deal with that another time. Are we moving? Yes, we are moving. I've not talked to any of the people here at all. I've just realised that this is kind of the place where the kid mentioned the stage and one of the actors doing something. Love the way that nobody is. There we go. An oaken scarab figurine. Once per rest, summon 3 wood beetles. This wooden beetle has a lifelike detail carefully burnt into its carved shell. Tiny barbs are etched into its legs and the folded wings bear mazy patterns. Well, ain't that a find? We've also got some booze, or drugs, one of the two, and some amethyst. You're the bearer of beasts. You shall take the wood beetles. I just totally skipped over this entire area of the time that I was exploring here and talking to people. And I've not actually talked to half the people there. I should probably get around to doing that at some point, but I'll do it next time. I just want to rest up.
Well met, friend.
Can I get a room? I'll show you what I've got. Yes, go with this one. +5 accuracy on ranged attacks. Will benefit 4 out of the 7 people in the group. Right, do I trust myself to remember that I was dealing with the graveyard? I might do. Especially if it's... So I kind of want to go over here and see who there is to talk to, because I did notice a couple of people with names. Kadala, Lumdala, Kadal and Lumdala. And I shall try to remember after this. I need to go back to the cemetery and deal with finishing that out. End of session 12. Bum bum blah. So yeah, I've just made level 7, which I think is 1 level short of halfway through the levels. So based on purely that logic alone, 12 sessions, maybe 28 sessions for the entire game? Thereabouts. Be interesting to find out anyway. But anyway, thank you all for joining me this evening. J-Station, Medcat, Saber, Lord of Misrule, Retro Ted, I know that you popped in earlier. If there's anyone else in chat and is interested in hanging around some more with us, you can find most of us over on the Discord, where me, RetroTed, J-Station, and another streamer, Krifu Banal, have set up a Discord where we all hang out, talk about video games and tabletop role-playing games. So if you'd like to join us there is a link in the chat. Otherwise, I will be back on this channel on Thursday, where I will be playing more Pillars of Eternity. Likely to be going back into Prey on Fridays with people in the Peanut Gallery. Not entirely sure where I'm up to in Prey. It's very difficult to gauge because I don't know what's going on. But at the same token, rumor has it that I'm like 3/4 to 2/3 of the way through. I can 2/3, 3/4. Never remember which one's bigger than the other until I get a piece of paper and start scribbling. 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through. Just had to do the mental math there. Through Prey, the 2017 Prey spooky game, and also, if nothing else, I will be back on Monday over on Manapot Studios, where I GM a Starfinder adventure path for J-Station 64 Retro, Ted, Krifu Banal, and Crick missions at 7:30. There's a link in the chat for that, where we're playing Fly Free or Die in the Starfinder universe. And what else do we have? We've got to find out if there's somebody worthwhile raiding. Let me just push some buttons so that I don't accidentally blare noise at you all. Got a lot of people streaming this evening. We're probably going to go over and join Krifu Banal, who is playing some Pathfinder First Edition in their solo campaign for that they've named The Spear in the Sea. That's what it is. Alright, so if you'd all like to join me in the raid and say hello when we get over there, it will be appreciated. If not, I shall see you next time, and until then, tatty bye.